Everyone in the office called her the Ice Queen. Ms. Evelyn Hart, our department head, was a legend. She was known for being unshakably calm, brutally efficient, and emotionally untouchable. She never raised her voice, never cracked a smile, and she never, ever joined in on the casual chatter by the water cooler. She was the kind of woman who could silence an entire room just by walking in. And honestly, she terrified me. It wasn't because she was cruel, in fact. She was fair, almost painfully so. But there was something about her sharp blue eyes and the way her words cut like polished glass that always left me scrambling to prove myself. She was the one person whose approval I craved most, and ironically, the one person I was convinced I would never get it from. That night, a late Friday, I thought I'd finally escape her orbit. I had stayed behind to finish a report, praying she wouldn't notice I'd missed the deadline earlier that day. But when I finally packed up my bag and went to leave, I found the rain hammering down outside as if the world was ending. And just as I was contemplating a mad dash to the parking garage, the power went out. The entire building plunged into darkness, except for the faint, eerie glow of the emergency lights in the hall. I groaned, clutching my bag. Stuck. Absolutely perfect. That's when I heard the distinct sound of heels clicking against the marble floor. My heart jumped into my throat as Ms. Hart herself appeared, holding her phone up like a flashlight, its beam cutting through the gloom. "Still here, Ms. Ling?" she asked, her voice as cool and crisp as ever. I stammered, feeling like a kid caught with my hand in the cookie jar. "Why, yes. I was just finishing the quarterly report, and then, well, the blackout." She tilted her head, studying me with that unreadable expression of hers. "It seems we're both stuck. Just my luck. Trapped with the Ice Queen." We ended up in her office. It was the largest room on the floor, with massive windows where the faint city lights managed to leak in, painting silvery streaks on the walls. I sat stiffly in the chair across from her desk, trying my best not to make a complete fool of myself. For a long, long while, the only sound was the relentless drumming of rain against the glass. Finally, just to break the suffocating silence, I blurted out, "You don't seem nervous." About the blackout. Her lips curved slightly. Was that almost a smile? Why should I be? It's only darkness. Easy for her to say. My own pulse was already racing, but it wasn't because of the blackout. It was from sitting this close to her, where I could smell her perfume, a subtle but intoxicating scent that seemed to fill the small space between us. Trying to keep the conversation going, I asked something impossibly bold. "Do you ever get tired of everyone calling you the Ice Queen?" Her eyes flicked to mine, sharp as a blade, for a terrifying second. I thought I'd crossed a major line, but then her shoulders relaxed. "Just a fraction? They don't know me well enough to call me anything else," she murmured, her voice softer than I'd ever heard it. The air in the room shifted. Something in her tone, low, almost vulnerable, didn't match the powerful woman I thought I knew. "Then what should they call you?" I asked softly, leaning forward. For the very first time since I'd met her, Evelyn looked uncertain. She leaned back in her chair, her gaze becoming distant, lost somewhere in the rainy cityscape outside. "Someone once called me too warm," she said, her voice barely a whisper. "Too trusting. That ended badly. I learned to keep things contained." I swallowed hard. So the Ice Queen had been burned before. That armor she wore wasn't cruelty, it was protection. The words tumbled out of me before I could stop them. I don't think you're cold, I said. You're just careful. But sometimes careful looks lonely. Her eyes snapped back to mine, but this time there was no sharp edge. Only surprise. The silence stretched between us again, but now it was heavy with something unspoken, something new. Just then, a loud clap of thunder cracked overhead, making me jump in my seat without even thinking. I reached across the desk, my fingers brushing against her hand. I fully expected her to pull away, to retreat back into her shell. Instead, she stood. Then, slowly, deliberately, she turned her palm so our fingers could lace together. Ms. Lane, she said, her voice now husky and low. You are far too perceptive for your own good. I let out a nervous laugh. Sorry. Occupational hazard. And then the most incredible thing happened. The smallest laugh escaped her lips, soft and warm. And it was like watching ice thaw in real time. Her entire face changed, still sharp and intelligent, but now lit from within. She was beautiful. Human. The storm raged outside, but inside her office, the world had narrowed to just the two of us, sitting close, holding hands across a desk of polished oak. When the lights finally flickered back on, casting a sudden, harsh glare over everything, I half expected her to pull her hand away and retreat behind her walls again. But she didn't let go. Instead, she squeezed my hand gently and said quietly, Tomorrow, meet me for coffee outside the office. I blinked, my brain struggling to catch up. Like a date. Her smirk was back, but it was softer this time, playful. Like a date, and just like that, the Ice Queen melted. Not with fire, but with something warmer. Something I'd only ever dreamed she had to give. That night, stuck in the office during the storm, I realized something that no one else in the building did. Evelyn Hart was on ice at all. She was glass fragile, strong, and absolutely dazzling when you finally let the light through, and I was the one she let in. Thank you so much for listening to this story. If you enjoyed it, please give this video a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe for more content. See you next time.